ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः।
ॐ भद्रं
कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः।
भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः।
भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः।
स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः।
स्थिरैरङ्गैः सुष्ठुवागुंसस्तनूभिः।
व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः।
व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः।
स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः।
स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः।
स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः।
स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः।
स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः।
स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः।
स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु।
स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु।
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः.
Okay, so this is the verse we were looking at last week, and so yettad adreshyam. Adreshyam means that which is not an object of any sense organ, that which cannot be seen. Adreshyam means, but here it also means that it is not an object of any sense object, sensory perception. It is not an object of sensory perception. Agrahyam means it is not an object of any karmendriyas, like our hands and limbs and all that. It cannot be grasped. So any organs of action also, it is not an object of any organ of action. Agotram. So agotram means that which does not have any gotra. Gotra means normally human beings have a gotra. Who is your forefather? So that is what we call gotra, right? Your lineage. Now Brahman does not have any lineage. That means it doesn't have any father, forefather, grandfather and all that. That means it itself is not having any cause. It is an uncaused cause. Okay. So it itself is not caused by anything. So agotram. Avarnam. Again, it doesn't have any color. Means here it doesn't have any attributes, any qualities. It doesn't have any guna. Or we can also take it as it cannot be classified as any one category or any species like that. So avarnam. Achakshushrothram. So it itself is not a sense organ. So achakshushrothram here means Brahman by itself is not a sense organ. Okay. Nor it is an organ of action. Tad apanipadam. So it is neither a sense organ by itself, nor is it an organ of action. It's neither our body, that is the sthula sharira, or the physical body, nor the sukshma sharira, or the subtle body. Then what is this Brahman? Till now, this Brahman has been shown or revealed to us with negatives. It is not this, not this, not this, like that. So if Brahman is none of these things, what is it? It is Nityam. So it is eternal, that which is there always. In fact, that which is the basis of time itself. And Vibhum. Vibhum means Vividam Bhavati iti Vibhuhu. That which has become all the beings, all the things. So it is the material cause of all the things which we see in this universe. Brahman is the material cause, Vibhu. Sarvagatam, it also pervades everything. As the material cause, it actually pervades everything. It is there, available everywhere. Sarvagatam, all pervasive. But it is sukshmam, to sukshmam. It is there, available everywhere, but it is not easy to recognize. Why? It is very subtle, they say. Susukshmam, not just sukshmam. Susukshmam means very subtle, in fact. That is because it's not available as an object. Okay, so we are used to knowing things as objects. We are used to objectifying things either with our organs of perception, or at least in our mind we objectify and know. But Brahman is the eternal subject. It is always the Sakshi, and it is not available for you to be objectified because it is yourself. So knowing Brahman is subtle because of that reason. Because you have to know it without objectifying it. In fact, knowing Brahman is only all about removing all the wrong notions which you have about yourself. If we remove all that, then whatever is there to be understood as it is, as I, is that Brahman. So in one way, actually it is easy. In fact, Ramana even used to say that Ayye ati sulabham atma vidyai, Ayye ati sulabham. Like that, there is a song actually, Metta Kadinam, like that originally. But then, so something very difficult like that, there used to be a song. To go to Chidambaram and have darshan of the Lord is not very easy. But Ramana sang it differently. He said it is Ati Sulabham. It's very easy to know this Atma because it is yourself. But for the same reason also it is very subtle. It's not straightforward. If you have the right guru and the teaching and the right commitment and attitude, it is actually very easy to learn. In fact, it is the only thing which can be taught completely because it doesn't have any parts. Whatever has parts, you cannot learn it completely. You cannot know everything about all the parts of which a particular thing is made up of. But Brahman being a partless whole is the only thing you can learn completely, you can know, because it is yourself also. And further it is avyayam, tad avyayam. So what if I know Brahman today as a partless whole and tomorrow it becomes something else? Don't worry, Brahman does not change. Navyeti, it does not decline or it will not get destroyed. It is aksharam, it is avyayam. In fact, because it is partless only, it is avyayam. Anything with parts will come apart, correct? Anything which is made up of parts can come apart and it is no more recognizable. But Brahman being the partless consciousness, okay, partless whole, it is avyayam. It can never be destroyed. Okay, so that is the thing you have to understand. Avyayam. And not only that, it is Bhuta Yonim. So Vibhu we saw, I told you it became all these things whatever we see in this world, correct? This entire world, the material cause of the world is Brahman. Generally, our understanding of material cause is what? For example, clay is the material cause of pot. So pot is made up of clay, so it is the material cause, but it is jadam. Okay. Also, when we look at the cause-effect model, there is always something more than just the material cause, correct? The clay itself does not by itself become a pot. In fact, that is true for anything which is intelligently designed, intelligently put together, we can say. So something which is designed with intelligence doesn't come by itself. Is one argument, in fact, which is a reasonable argument, I think, because let us say I come to you and show you a watch, then, and I say that I went to Switzerland and these watches were coming out of a natural spring from underneath the ground. I just plugged it from there and I brought it. Means most probably you won't believe me, correct? Because a watch has so many parts, and in fact the parts themselves do not become a watch. You have to actually put it together intelligently. Then only, as per a particular design in fact, so then only it will become a functioning watch. So that means looking at a watch, you say that of course the material cost of the watch comes with the watch, correct? It may be made of some stainless steel or some other metal or plastic, whatever it is. But then that alone is not the cost. Something more than the material cost has to be there, which is the watchmaker. Okay, so there is a watchmaker. Similarly, for pot also there has to be a pot maker. So the pot maker symbolizes the intelligence, okay, the skill, the design involved in making anything, and that cause in Sanskritam we call it as nimitta karanam. Okay, so there is a material cause, we call it as upadana karanam. Then the intelligent cause, okay, the sentient cause is known as nimitta karanam. So for every effect, every result, there has to be both the material cause and the intelligent cause. Okay, some people even bring in something more also. Okay, like the intelligent cause himself or herself or itself is not enough. Further, you need some machinery, let us say tools, like that. Karanas also are involved, let us say, in making something. So that is also one of the causes. Like this, different types of causes we can talk about, but in general, you require a material cause, you require an intelligent cause. The intelligent cause also includes all other types of causes, like all the different types of instruments and machines which you may require. That is all under the control of the intelligent cause. So two causes we have to talk about. So if this whole world also we are talking about the cause of the world, why do we even talk about the cause of this world? Because you have to relate it with the original question. What was the question? Tasmin bhagavo vijñāte sarvamidam vijñātam bhavati iti. That was the original question. Okay, sarvamidam, all that is here is known. By knowing which vastu? So by knowing which one vastu, all that is here will be also known to me. That is the question. Now that is possible only if all that is here, this world which we cognize as something which is here, has a cause, correct? And that cause again has to be a material cause, because material cause alone inheres, pervades the effect. But let us say Brahman is the material cause of this world, means then like any other material cause, is it jadam? Is it insentient? No. Brahman is also the nimitta karanam. It is also the sentient cause. That's why yet bhuta yonim is also the bhuta yoni. All the bhutas means beings, living beings. So it is the cause of all the living beings, sentient beings also. That means Brahman is both the nimitta and upadana karanam. It is both material and intelligent cause. So in Sanskritam we call it as abhinna nimitta upadana karanam. Abhinnam means not separate. So the upadana karanam, material cause, and the nimitta karanam, intelligent cause, are non-separate and one and the same, which is this Brahman. Okay, so that's what is shown here. And this Brahman is known by whom? Who understand this? who can understand this very clearly? Paripashyanti. Who dhiraha. Dhiraha here means generally dhairyam. Okay, dhairyam is translated as courage. Okay, that is there in many Indian languages also, the word dhairya. But here dhiraha means not just courage, but the ones who have viveka, discrimination. Such people are called as dhiraha. In general here dhiraha means the one who has the adhikara to know. We discussed that both the intellectual capabilities and also the emotional maturity required has to be there. Such persons clearly understand this Brahman. So here some more discussion we have to do to understand this cause and effect, how cause and effect is talked about in our tradition. So if you see in different places Shankara has talked about this in greater detail. So when we look at cause and effect, there are some people who actually deny causation itself. Okay, they say there is no cause, there is no effect. So there is a section of Buddhists, one sect of Buddhists called Yogacharins, Yogachara. Also they are known as Shanika Vijnana Vadin. Shanika Vijnana Vadin means they say there is no continuous consciousness. There is no continuity at all in anything. Everything is Shanika, means momentary. So the consciousness also is only a momentary flicker. And since it is flickering very fast, like this, see in olden days we had these movies, there was no digital projection, correct? So the film used to run at 24 frames per second, I think that's the thing. If it runs so fast, then it looks like it is all moving properly, correct? Although it is as though it is a continuous movement, you can see. So if the flickering is fast enough, it looks like continuous, but there is nothing continuous in this world. Everything is a quantum, you can say something like that. If you want to use a modern terminology, there is only quantum is there. There is nothing linking one quantum with the other. So every moment is a moment only, correct? It is a flicker of consciousness containing the entire thing, and there is no other reality other than that. So you cannot even talk about a cause or an effect and all that. Like that there is a contention. Okay, so that is their Siddhanta. So they are all called as Asat Karanavadin. So they say there is no Karana itself. Then what to talk about the Karya? We don't accept that there is any Karana. Even whatever the world you are seeing and all is only illusion. Even what you think as the seer also is nothing. It's all only Kshanika. There is no persistent observer to observe anything. That is their contention. So here Shankara actually puts this Purvapaksha in one of the Bhashya, and then generally the answer is like this. So first we say that we perceive that the clay which we saw as a lump, that same clay only we are seeing it in the pot also, correct? When the pot maker is making, whatever clay we saw in the lump is the clay which is now obtained in the pot. That anuvritti is there. So you cannot say that there is no cause. Like this we can argue. So anuvritti means there is a continuation. Okay. So the same clay is seen there, is seen here also. That clay is this clay. that gold is this gold. The same gold we saw as a bar has become this chain, let us say. Okay. So that gold is this gold, or that clay is this clay, like this, that and this cognition is there. So how do you, because there is a recognition, correct? Pratyabhijna. In Sanskritam we call it as Pratyabhijna. Pratyabhijna means what? Whatever I saw then is the one I am seeing now. Like that we are able to relate. So for this the Buddhist is saying there is no real anuvritti. The cause does not inhere in the effect or anything like that. There is nothing really. There is no anuvritti. There is no inherence of the cause in the effect. It is only a similarity, he says. Sadrishyam only is there, like that. There is an argument is there. Really that clay does not become this clay in the pot, but the pot's clay looks like the clay of the lump. There is only some similarity. But then Shankara argues further saying, similarity also you have, for establishing similarity you require two cognitions, correct? Just with one cognition there cannot be any similarity. So how are you, if everything is kshanika, there is nothing which continues, which is invariable between two cognition, then how can even similarity be established? There cannot be any similarity also, you cannot establish according to you. So how can you say it is similar? Then he says, okay, I don't want similarity also. Even without similarity and all, that's all. There is nothing really called cause. So if he says, if everything is based on non-entities, then this, that, all the cognitions also will become based on non-entities only, non-existence. Further, his own contention that everything is non-existent itself is non-existent, we will say, according to himself. If you apply his own logic to his contention, then that contention goes away. So then nothing can be said about anything really. There cannot be any vyavastha, there cannot be a pramana vyavastha, there cannot be any transaction in this world. So his contention is illogical. So you cannot say that there is no cause in the effect. There is a cause which is there. So asat karana vada we don't accept. Okay, is that clear to all of you? So when we talk about this cause and effect, there is a cause, and we see that cause is inhering in the effect. So cause is there. Up to this point, even within our traditional darshanas, if you see, there is a Nayayika, Vaisheshika, and all these people are there. They also accept that cause is there. They will also argue against the Buddhist along with the Advaitin till this point. But then the Nayayika is known as Asat Karyavadi. What is this Asat Karyavadi mean? They say that cause was there, but no effect was there. Then the effect is produced or created when different things come together, like that. So the non-existent part combines with the existent causes, and then the cause is produced, like that. So the Asat Karyavadi they are called, because the Karya is not there, only the Karana is there. Then they have a concept of inherence and all that. Samavaya Sambandha. There is something, there is a connection between the cause and effect, and even a Dravya and a Guna, a quality and a substantive, which they call inherence and all that. It is inherently there, there is a connection. And that is called Samavaya according to their own model or their own darshana. So this cause and effect, when they talk about, they say there is no cause before, sorry, there is no effect before, cause alone is there. Then when the material cause and the intelligent cause, like the potter, they all come together in a particular manner, and the intelligent cause has to make a particular effort, okay, to bring about the result or effect. And at that time, the non-existent result, when all these things come together, it then gets connected with all these causes and it becomes existent. Something like this, their Siddhanta is like this. So the Asat Karyavadin also we don't accept. Okay. So what does the position of a traditional Advaitin? What does Shankara talk about if you see? The Karya also is always there. Okay. There is no real creation. Understand this. For Advaitins, there is no real creation. It's only a manifestation. Everything is there in a potential form. So the pot is potentially there in the clay. The chain is potentially there in gold. So the cause is there always and the effect also is there. Then why don't we see the effect always? Means it is non-manifest or unmanifest. It is potentially there. So, and again the contention is there is that if the cause is there in one form, let us say, for example, clay is there as a lump. Lump is one form or one karya of clay. Means one karya of the karana covers the other karyas. Is that clear? So the cause is there in one form means the other forms are also there potentially, but they become unmanifest because only one form can be manifest. So this form itself becomes like a covering for the other forms, so they are not manifest. So if one form is destroyed, then the cause is now manifest as some other form. So like this, we do not accept that karya is not present. Karya is there potentially. In fact, the same thing is beautifully said even in Dakshinamurti Stotram. Some of you may know that. So there is one Dakshinamurti Stotram, in that one shloka is Bijasyantari Vankuro Jagadidam Prang Nirvikalpam Punaha. So Bijasya, so in the Bija means seed. Okay? Bijasyantari iva ankuraha. Okay? Within the seed, the sprout is there, correct? The plant which is coming out in a potential form. And there, if you see, it is really like a software, correct? All these genes and whatever, it's in a codified form, potential form. Then the Ankura manifests given the right conditions and all that. And there is a connection also. In fact, for the continuity's sake, in one another Bhashya also the same Buddhist argues. Kshanika Vijnanavadin will come and say cause and effect is not there, correct? According to them, there is no cause, no effect. It's all only some illusion and all that they say. But if there is no cause and no effect, then any seed should produce any plant. That's an argument which Shankara gives in another place. So any seed can give any plant then, because there is no connection between cause and effect. There is no cause, there is no effect if you say. But it is not so. A mango seed is giving only a mango plant. A lemon seed gives you only a lemon tree. A banyan seed gives you only a banyan sprout. Like that, particular seeds produce only particular plants. That means there is a connection. You cannot deny that connection. So like this also an argument is there. So anyway, so the idea here is the karya is potentially there in the karana. So for Advaitin, we cannot accept any non-existence anywhere because Brahman is always there. Understand that you are there always. The consciousness is there eternally, nityam. So how can there be any non-existence? There is nothing called non-existence anywhere. It's all only unmanifest becoming manifest, again becoming unmanifest, becoming manifest. It's a cycle. Even in the Dakshinamurti Stotra, that cycle is said very beautifully. Punaha, there is a word in the end. Bijasyantarivankiro jagadidam prang nirvikalpam punaha. Punaha. So that means what? This nirvikalpam Brahma is there. It again becomes manifest as this world. Like the sprout which is there in the seed. So it is a cycle. Again means what? Already it was manifest. Then it became unmanifest, and again it is going to become manifest. Like that, that is a cycle. Is that clear? So in fact, the same, even in Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, there is one sloka is there. We talk about nasato vidyate bhavaha, nabhavo vidyate sataha. In fact, it looks very, if I translate it, it will look like stupid. So, but it is very, very important sloka in Bhagavad Gita, 2:16, chapter 2:16th verse is Nasato vidyate bhavaha, asataha bhavaha na vidyate. Means what? Asat means that which is non-existent, does not have any existence. Okay. Asataha bhavaha na vidyate. That which is non-existent does not have existence. What is this? It's like a tautology, correct? It's like saying the same thing. And again, nabhavo vidyate sataha. That which is existent does not have any absence or non-existence. Ubayorapi drishtontaha. The one who knows both these things clearly becomes a tattvadarshi. Like that Bhagavan says. The one who knows this is the tattvadarshi, is the jnani. So if you know that, that means what? Existence cannot have non-existence, and that which is non-existent can never become existent. This you have to know. If you know this clearly, you are a jnani. That's what Bhagavan says. So same thing, that's what for us Brahman is the only existent vastu. Brahman as yourself. Everything else has only dependent existence. There is no other thing which is really existent. All other things get their very existence from Brahman only. Okay. And even when we normally say they are no more existent, means what happens? It only becomes unmanifest. Okay. It goes back into unmanifest. Layam, whatever you call it, pralayam, and all we say. And again it comes back. It can be manifested again. So that is what is the position of Advaitin. So Advaitis are neither Asat Karanavadi nor Asat Karyavadi. Understand that. So for us, the Karya is always there. Only thing is, it is either manifest or unmanifest. So unmanifest means it is potentially there. And Shankara in fact argues with the Nayayikas also a lot, because Nayayikas say that if it is already there, then why we are not seeing it? If you say the pot is already there in clay, then why am I seeing a lump? So for that Shankara says, you are seeing the lump. When you are seeing the lump, the pot is there potentially. It is unmanifest, but it is still there. Then for that person says, and even Shankara says further, if it is, and it is there in an unmanifest form, and the other form, like the lump form actually is a covering, or it actually hinders the manifestation of the pot form. That's why you are not seeing it. Like, in fact, Shankara gives one example here. He says that you have a pot in a dark room, let us say, but you cannot see it. There is no way of seeing it because the darkness is covering, as though covering the pot. So there is no way of seeing it. But when you bring light, then it becomes known, it becomes manifest. So creation is also something like that. Like that, Shankara gives an example. So creation also is nothing but manifestation, and you are actually removing the things which obstruct the manifestation of a particular form, then that form becomes manifest. So for this again the Nayayika and all, they give objection. They say that means, do you say that there is no need of putting any particular effort to create a particular thing? Because if I then remove the obstruction alone, other forms if I remove, then this particular form will it come. So should my effort be only directed towards destroying the lump form? Do you say that then the pot form will automatically come? Like that they question. So Shankara says that no, there is no niyama like that. There is no rule, anything like that. In fact, there are many forms, correct? If you destroy the lump form, it may become powder. We don't know, or it may become some other form. There are a number of forms are there. So you cannot say that to create a pot, the only effort we put is to destroy the other forms or anything like that. The effort has to be sufficient enough to produce the actual form which you want, correct? The actual effect. So all the causes are required and sufficient effort has to be given, proper effort has to be there so that the correct effect comes into being, and that is the important thing. So in this matter, actually the Nayayikas actually talk about different types of abhava also. They talk about prag abhava, means the effect does not exist before. So it has something called a prag abhava. So before it came into being, there is a prior non-existence. The prior non-existence the Nayayikas call as prag abhava. Then it is existent. Then you break the pot, let us say. Then there is something called pradvamsa abhava. After you break the pot, that pot is never going to be there again, correct? There is after destruction there is a non-existence again. That is called pradvamsa abhava. After the dvamsa, there is another abhava. So prag abhava is there, pradvamsa abhava is there. Then there is something called anyonya abhava also they talk about. So anyonya abhava means what? A pot is not there in a table or a cloth. Okay, gata is not there in pata. Pata means cloth. And pata is not there in gata. So this is called anyonya bhava. This pot is not there in cloth. Cloth is not there in pot. Because pot has its own potness. Cloth has its own clothness. So clothness is not found in pot and potness is not found in cloth. So they are mutually non-existent in each other and all that. But the Nayayikas themselves accept the mutual non-existence is in the form of a positive existence, correct? As something else. Pot is not there where in, we have to say, in cloth. Means that in becomes something, it's a positive entity, it's an existent entity. So according to Nayayika contention itself, the pradvamsa abhava is existent. Then they have something called atyanta abhava also they talk about, something which is never existent. Generally it is an unholy compound, like we call, like you can say Vandya Putraha. This is one unholy compound in Sanskritam. Means barren woman's child. Vandya Putraha. Or Sashashringaha, the horns of a hare. Or even they talk about Kapushpaha, means sky flower and all that. Something like this. So, the flower which just comes in space without any plants and all that. These are all supposed to be Atyanta Abhava, means they are never cognized at any point in time. So like this they talk about 4 abhavas, in which one abhava they themselves accept as a positive entity. Then Shankara points out even Pragabhava and Pradhamsa Abhava also can be similarly positive. Because in Pragabhava it is there as unmanifest. Pradhamsa Abhava also it is there as unmanifest. And during the period in which the pot actually exists, it is there in a manifest form, where the function also is there. There is a form always has a function. So the functional existence is there when it is manifest. Otherwise also it exists in a potential form. So existence is always there. There is nothing called non-existence. That is our Siddhanta. So if you can accept Anyonya Bhava as a positive thing, then Pragabhava and Pradhamsa Bhava also are only existence. There is nothing called non-existence. It may not be available for knowledge. Like when the pot is covered by darkness. But once you put light, it is available for knowledge, correct? It becomes an object of knowledge. Same thing even in creation. In fact, there is nothing called creation for us. Creation is only a provisional word. There is no creation. In reality, what is there is only manifestation of the unmanifest. Manifestation of whatever was there in the cause as a potential. So that is our understanding of cause and effect. I hope this is clear to all of you. And so, this in fact the whole argument I just gave you like a summary. It is there in Upanishad. Okay, for those who are interested. There is one portion in Brihadaranyaka 1:1. Okay, first Brahmana, second chapter, first verse. There Shankara is talking about this cause and effect in detail. There is a big discussion. And that portion of Bhashya is famously known as Ghata Bhashya, because there the Ghata is taken as an effect, and then how the clay is the cause and how the Ghata inheres in the clay potentially and all that. Those things are all discussed there in detail. So Ghata Bhashya is a famous Bhashya by Shankara. One portion of his commentary is called Ghata Bhashya, where this cause and effect is discussed in detail. So this is something all of us should understand. So here Brahman becomes the cause of this entire universe. That has to be shown. Brahman has to be shown as the cause. Again, Brahman cannot be only the material cause. Brahman is Chetanam, correct? It is Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. That's how Upanishad talks about. Brihadaranyaka also says Vijnanam Anandam Brahma. Like that, it's all Prajnanam Brahma. Like that another Upanishad says. So Brahman is always Chetana, Chaitanyam, sentient. So this Brahman being Chetanam is also the Nimitta Karana. And it is also the Upadana Karana. This Abhinna Nimitta Upadanam. So this Abhinna Nimitta Upadanatvam is a very unique revelation only by the Veda. Understand this. All other theologies are all only talking about God as Nimitta Karanam. God in heaven created this world. Okay, that is a typical theology. Even in India there are correct? God sitting in Vaikunta created this world. or God in Kailasha created this world, God in Golok Vrindavan created this world. All these theologies are there. Then there is a question, who created heaven? You should not ask, okay? Shut up and just believe what I say. Most probably something like that will be the answer. So who created heaven? Before heaven, if God only created heaven, then what was there? Where was God before heaven was created? You cannot say God was in hell, because if God is so intelligent, he or she couldn't have created a hell for himself or herself, I think. In fact, it becomes very laughable. Most theologies become laughable if you start questioning. So they simply say, shut up and believe, have faith in whatever I say. That's all the theologians can say. Or they say the whole world was created out of nothing and all that. But nothing, from nothing only nothing can come. Understand this. Na sato vidyate bhavaha, na bhavo vidyate sataha. That's what Krishna very clearly. Whatever is there alone comes into manifestation. That is our contention. And the manifestation means Brahman itself manifests as this universe. Whatever you see as this Vishwa is nothing but Brahman. So that is the beauty here. That means Brahman becomes Abhinna Nimitta Upadana Karanam. Then you may ask, oh, Brahman is really the cause. Then Brahman became this world. That is where we say Vivarta Upadanam. So even in Upadanam, there are two types are there. Parinami Upadana Karanam, Vivarta Upadana Karanam. Parinami Upadana Karanam means what? The material cause changes and becomes something else, the effect. Even pot, clay becoming pot also is actually parinami, because you have to fire it, correct? Or milk becoming curd. So there is a pantheism also is there. People talk about pantheism and all that. Nature alone is God. Or God became this creation, in the process God became nature. There is no more God separately. Whatever you see here is God. So we are not talking about pantheism also. Pantheism implies parinami upadanam. But we are talking about vivarta upadanam. Vivartam means what? Vivarta upadana in our understanding in Sanskrita is swaswarupa aparityagena rupantara apattihi. Like this we talk about vivartam means. What is that? Swaswarupa aparityagena. Without giving up one's own nature. Okay, aparityagena means without giving up. Swaswarupa means one's own nature. Without giving up one's own nature, rupantara apattihi, gaining some other form. That is called vivarta upadanam. So typical example is gold. So gold retains its whatever, correct? You can say the number of electrons, protons, neutrons and all remains the same. Its atomic weight is the same. Even maybe it's all other, its substantive properties, whatever it has, everything remains the same, but it becomes the chain, retaining all those things. Then from chain you can also make it into a bangle if you want. Still it retains the same properties. So swaswarupa aparityagena rupantara apattihi is an important thing. That means Brahman, without losing its nature, being itself, becomes this entire world. And so the question, the original question is answered. By knowing Brahman, you have as well known this entire world, everything. Because there is, in fact, if you look at the world as Brahman, there is only Brahman, there is no world. That is another thing we have to understand. In fact, real Vivarta Upadanam means not even gold. We don't know. Gold also you have to heat it and all that. Maybe its properties will change when you change the form. But real Vivarta Upadanam, if we have to give an example, it is seeing snake on a rope. Rope snake is the real Vivarta. There the rope never becomes anything. But you see the snake, correct? So the rope's existence alone is the snake's existence. But as soon as you see the snake as rope, there is only rope, there is no snake. That is the same thing with this world also. As soon as you know this world as Brahman, there is only Brahman, there is nothing, the world doesn't really count. It's Mithya. World is not a second thing other than Brahman. As soon as we see this world as Brahman, the world is gone. It is like the famous Tamil Tirumula says this in Tamil. Or there is a colloquial saying. In Tamil we say Kalla Kano, Naya Kalla Kano. Okay, if you see the dog, there is a ferocious dog. If you see the dog, there is no. If you see it as stone, there is no dog. Okay. What is the meaning of this? There is a dog sculpture, ferocious dog. It is looking like it is going to attack. So one guy looks at it and screams, save me from the dog, going to attack me and all that. Because he sees that as a dog, okay, and he is afraid. Then another fellow says, it is not dog, it is only stone. See, so if you look at the substance, the name and form is, it doesn't mean anything. Name and form do not. The substance is stone. If you look at it as stone, it is only. In your appreciation of there is no dogness. Understand that. That is the important thing. In stone buddhi, there is no dog. But the dog is still stone. Correct? It is a stone dog. There cannot be any dog form without it being a stone or a stone dog. But in your understanding of stone, there is no dogness. But in your understanding of a dog sculpture, still the stone has to be there. In your understanding of art, the clay is there. But in your understanding of clay, there is no part or lump or any other effect. Clay is understood as it is. Similarly, the world, if you look at the world as world, then you are afraid. But what you see there is really Brahman. It's not separate from you. Brahman is both the seer and the seen. It is the basis for all Vidya, Sarva Vidya Pratishtham and all we saw before. So it is the basis for the seer, seen and the means of knowledge, everything. The very knowledge which takes place. It is the invariable in every cognition, and that Brahman is not separate from you. Because everything else is negated in this particular verse itself. Adreshyam, Agrahyam, Agotram, Avarnam, Achakshushotram, Apanipadam. If you negate all these things, what is left is only you. You, the Chaitanyam, the conscious being alone is left, and that you is the cause of this entire world. So knowing yourself, you have known everything else also. That is the answer for the original question. We have to always link with that. Is it clear? So that's what we'll continue this next week. Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam.
Om Purnamadah Purnamidam.
Purnat Purnamudachyate.
Purnat Purnamudachyate.
Purnasya Purnamadaya.
Purnasya Purnamadaya.
Purnamevavashishyate.
Purnamevavashishyate.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti
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 Shanti.
Shanti.
Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.
Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.
Harihi Om.
Harihi Om.